Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today, things are not doing so good. I mean, it depends on how you look at it, but the crypto market is in a little bit of a turmoil right now. Bitcoin is dumping, it is actually below $19,000 right now. On another end, Terra and coins like Ethereum Classic are absolutely popping off. I think Terra, actually it's this one, right? Luna Classic, Terra Classic, has absolutely gone insane and is up like 300 to 500% or so over the last week. It's absolutely maddening. But before we get into any of that, let's quickly do a little overview because Bitcoin is sitting right now at $19,000. Ethereum's merge is, I believe, 8 days away and it's sitting at 1,577. That's by far the most risk to reward interesting, I guess, crypto right now, as there's a massive appeal and just trying to buy it right now, while also a little bit of a risk factor of just something getting delayed or something going wrong. Of course, not being too good for the Ethereum price over the short term. We got our BNB at $266 and XRP sitting at a very measly 32.4 cents. Out of the whole top, again, only a couple of coins are doing good, one of those being Ethereum Classic and one of those being the Luna Classic as well. There's a couple other ones that are doing okay, but I think you guys get the gist. You guys get the idea. You know, the old Terra ecosystem is just pumping like mad. Actually, for the last couple of days already. Now, I took a little bit of a look at our different calendars, the ones that we indeed do have, and there were two major events today. S&P US Services PMI Final and the ISM Services Index. Honestly, nothing too crazy, at least nothing that should have hit the market like such a storm. And honestly, when taking a look at the indices, things are actually not that bad. It's just Bitcoin that's looking to really not do too good right now. S&P down 0.3, Dow down 0.4. I mean, it's not good. Don't get it wrong, don't get it twisted, it's not good. But normally when Bitcoin goes down this severely, or at least to these lower levels, the S&P is also losing a lot of steam, losing a lot of power. Then again, from a monthly perspective, taking a look at that, indeed the S&P is also just making lower lows and lower highs. It's drastically going down, and the same thing goes for the Dow Jones. So from that perspective, it is honestly not too wild, not too crazy to see Bitcoin move in this trajectory either. And again, coins like Ethereum, coins like coins like XRP and whatnot, they're not really standing on their own right now. Same thing goes for a lot of coins like Cardano. I mean, Cardano has had such a huge amount of positivity over the last couple of days. Literally, this weekend was awesome. And basically, ever since the Vaso hard fork date was announced for, I believe, September 22nd, things are just doing really good. But then, boom, Bitcoin starts to crash, and yeah, obviously Cardano suffers the same / a similar fate. For XRP, we had a lot of different positive events. One of the things we got just now is James Fillon being pretty excited and sharing for us a new scheduling update for the Ripple v SEC lawsuit, basically explaining every single thing that we still need to be prepared for, I guess. Motions to exclude expert testimony, DPP and attorney-client privilege battle over the Hinman documents. The decision on the SEC's objection is pending. The DPP appeal or petition to the Second Circuit, ? And then we got ourselves the motions for summary judgment and a couple of additional notes. Then again, that was not something that really drastically would influence the price, right? I think one of the only things regarding XRP that's quite exciting, actually there's a couple, is in terms of the upgrades or changes. We had something happen to the federated sidechains that we talked about earlier, changing federated to witness. And I guess we also had this new potential of Russia saying, okay, we're opening up to using cryptos for cross-border payments. Had to kind of think there for a second. That could have also been a nice little bullish factor, but it didn't take the XRP price up. There's also now new XRP payment system solutions to be presented at the XP Ledger Developers Summit hosted by Ripple soon. But honestly, I'm not so sure what this is going to be about, so we're not so sure that this should pump the price. But it's just interesting to know that this is coming up and that people are excited about it nonetheless, you know, even though prices are going down. Having said that, by far the most risky thing going on right now is this. CNBC analyst Brian Kelly warns upcoming Ethereum merge is riskier than traders realize, and here is why. Now, a very simple explanation is, why exactly would the Ethereum price go up on that day? There's actually, I think, two sides to this coin. I personally think that the Ethereum merge is literally quote unquote risky, but not from the perspective of buy the rumors, sell the news like many are trying to say. I think it's risky on the purpose of, or on the reasons of, It can kind of fail, it can be stalled, it can be not so good as people expected, it can be exactly like people expected. And all of those four are quote unquote risky in the sense that it could take the price down or just not move it as upwards as people expected, which leads to expectation being somewhere and the result being somewhere else, leading the price to go down. Or everybody is anticipating that this merge is going to go well. They're buying in right now massively. And once it goes well, there will be no more buying pressure because everybody was already anticipating it for it to go through. And then so everybody bought, if you guys get my drift. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying these daily crypto videos, I would very much appreciate it if you press that like button. Again, guys, I'm giving away $10,000 most likely tomorrow. It's a pretty big deal for me, you know? So for anybody pressing that like button, you are greatly appreciated. I should also reiterate really quickly, I am still bullish on Ethereum. Even though I say it's quite risky, I still have a lot of money in this. I still think buying more is a smart idea. And specifically buying right now while all these cryptos are lower is, in my opinion, just a very good thing. You know why? I believe a couple of people have gotten some very interesting opinions out on this. Here's Chris Bernsk, and let's just quickly read a couple of summaries, right? For example, simplified and theoretical expected value of a garden variety quality crypto asset at the moment. 50% odds of a 50% nuke in less than a year. 50% odds of 10x in 3 to 5 years. 0.5 times 0.5 plus 0.5 times 10 is 4.75x. So what is he doing? He's counting some simple probability of half the chance that you lose half your money, and there's half the chance that you 10x your money, which I think is some realistic probability with cryptocurrencies, right? Either you lose literally half of your money over the next couple of years, or you 10x it. I think that's a fair assessment. And following just, the simplest theorem that I can think of here, just simple expected values. I don't know how to make it simpler. You end up with a 4.75x, meaning you usually take this chance, I guess. It's actually a lot simpler than that. Let's say, for example, I decided to give you guys a little easy, example. So the example that they gave was half of the times you're going to lose half your money, right? Half of the times you're going to 10x, equaling in a 4.75x. Give you guys two examples. One is a simplified roulette table. Let's say you have half the probability of hitting red, half of hitting black. Well, at the end of the day, you can spin this as many times as you want. It's going to end up resulting in you getting exactly your money back, basically a 1x after, let's say, 1,000 repeated tries. On average, in this case, the expected value. In a real roulette scenario, for example, I'm not sure if this is perfect, but you understand, you have a 49% chance of hitting, let's say, black, 49% chance of hitting, let's say, red, if you bet on red, and a 2% chance of hitting, the zero, as an example, leading you to get 0.96, or let's just say 96% of your money, or if you put in $1, you'd get 96 cents after a long time of playing, so you'd basically be losing out on money. Let's say that half of the time, so if you invest $1,000 into crypto right now, there's a 50% chance you're going to lose everything, which is awful thinking about it. But there's also a 50% chance of coming out of this in the next couple of years, for example, with 20 times more than you went in with. That leads you then, if you would try this over and over again, because again, in a one-time thing, this has no purpose, but it's the expected value of trying this experiment out multiple different times, you'd end up with 10x, or even just one time. What you expect to result out of this is obviously 10 times your money back. Will it always happen? No. But the chance is pretty damn good, which is why you take this quote-unquote risk. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't understand about crypto. It's worth the risk, in my opinion. Again, guys, I am not a financial advisor in any way, shape, or form. But one thing people don't understand is that really, if you lose your money, it's bad. Too bad. Okay, I tried. But the chance of the upside is so big, and I keep projecting this about XRP as well. There's a chance that they're going to lose the lawsuit. Sure, there's always a chance. Let's just say in my own hypothetical scenario, for example, right? It could even be that the chance of losing is 50% and I lose literally all my money. But let's just say there's a 50% chance that they win as well. If only the multiplier would be 10x, meaning it goes from 33 cents or whatever to $3.30, not even to all-time high, right? That would result in me, for example, in this case, getting a 5x return on the expected value, meaning I should take this endeavor. This is usually how I calculate my own odds. Therefore, again, it's kind of hard to project what are the chances of them winning, what are the chances of them losing. I personally think the chances of them winning, for example, would be a little bit more akin to, for example, let's say 0.95 of them winning, aka 0.05 of them losing, 0.95 of them winning, meaning this expected value is actually way higher. My tiny little brain thinks that this would be now, for example, 9.5x. But you guys hopefully get the idea, right? That on average, I think this going for XRP, for example, is a very smart idea. And the same thing, I guess, can go for a lot of coins like Terra right now. I think a lot of people are utilizing this investment opportunity the same way. Let's just say that there's a probability of success of only 50% of Terra actually pumping. Maybe it's even less than that. Maybe the chance of pumping is only, let's say 30%, right? With a 70% chance of actual failure. This 0.7 here representing 70%, with 0 here representing that I lose all my money. If the 30% chance is me 10xing my money, then we can, of course, just get rid of this because it doesn't matter, it's times 0. That meaning 0.3 times 10, leading me to a 3x. Well, if I think there's a 30% chance of getting me a 10x, I should take this as well. I should buy some Terra, for example. I'm also talking about the Terra Classic, right? Because that's a little bit more of a meme coin in that sense that has a little bit of a crazier probability of doing some 10x. With Terra itself, I'm honestly not that excited. I think this one is a lot more appealful as the community is a lot tighter and a lot more fun about it. You can also see the chats right here. If this post gets 20 likes, I'll throw $5,000 into this. If this video gets a 500 likes, I'll throw $5,000 into it as well. See what happens. No, but I personally think it's kind of garbage, not gonna lie. But in terms of the probability, yeah, I mean, if this would be my own idea, I just personally think that the chance of failure in this case here is like 95%, leading this to be a little bit, odder of an equation. And I think even the success is more of a 3x to potentially 6 or so. And you can calculate all those probabilities for yourself. We could, for example, just go on a little spree. Like, for example, say, okay, there's a 70% chance of me losing all my money. There's a 5% chance of going times 6. There's a 5% chance of going times 9. There's a 5% chance of going times 11, and then continue on till you have 100%, obviously, and then calculate exactly what percentage or what number comes out. Again, this is not an exact science in this sense. It's probability based upon your own rough sketching, your own rough idea. But I think it's something that's very important to realize in the back of your head. Even though the numbers might not make complete sense, it's important to know. One of the other important things to know, I'd say, is, well, you can kind of consider this to be how and why you should never go to a casino, I guess. Because if you do the probability, you notice, okay, on average, I'll always lose, so it's not smart. That does not make it not fun, though, sometimes. But here, founder of Goxty Media says, Terra Luna Classic is a lottery ticket as it has no utility. It is indeed a situation of, well, I am basing this purely upon some events that I have no control over, that are not really predictable. And so be a little bit more cautious with things like this. The same thing kind of goes, however, for a lot of these events that are happening. For example, the FOMC meeting, you can kind of look into, okay, the probability of hitting such a percentage of interest or inflation, for example, is this. And so for that reason, I estimate that this is going to happen, yada, yada, yada. And this might help you make better informed choices. This is what we often do. Next most important days, by the way, if you're wondering, we have the FOMC meeting over in about 14 days from now. You can see the meeting date is going to start on September 21st. We then have ourselves, of course, the Ethereum merge happening in 8 days from now, I believe on the 15th, for some places a little bit earlier. And then we have our inflation numbers over in the US happening on the 13th of September, coming up quite close as well. For all of you that were wondering, Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index today is 22, and I'm expecting this to actually go down towards 20 minus tomorrow, as today, again, the Bitcoin price crashed so severely. But damn, what's going on with Terra Classic, huh? Things are going pretty wild for this one. And for XRP, again, I just gave you guys a good reason to always just be happy being able to put money into it because, well, the numbers match up. It's a pretty good idea, in my own opinion, to keep stacking up. And the same thing goes for a lot of cryptos, but yeah. That was it for today's video, guys. Make sure you check out my giveaway. A link is down below. Make sure you follow me on Instagram or whatever if you like. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video later today.